In the aftermath of the revelation that Roman wishes to call off the engagement, a palpable tension grips the room. Flora's father, processing this unexpected turn of events, begins to believe that this arranged marriage, which once seemed like a strategic move for the Lawrence family, is now a thing of the past. The Lawrences, already burdened with a somewhat tarnished reputation, realize that no reputable family would be willing to proceed with an arranged marriage under such circumstances. Flora's father, contemplating the weight of the situation, determines that the family must confront and resolve their internal issues without relying on external alliances. Baron Lawrence, patriarch of the family, furrows his brow as he contemplates the potential consequences. Concerned that a collaboration between Dimitry and Barco might leave the Lawrence family vulnerable and unable to mount an effective defense, he takes a moment to reflect on a strategy to avert this crisis. Baron Lawrence, recognizing the gravity of the situation, decides to humble himself before Baron Dimitry. Bowing slightly, Baron Lawrence apologizes to Baron Dimitry, emphasizing that the entire debacle is a consequence of actions taken by the Lawrence family. He expresses regret and remorse, acknowledging that mistakes were made within their own household. Baron Lawrence, in an attempt to salvage the situation, assures Baron Dimitry that the Lawrence family will forego collecting taxes from those belonging to their lineage. However, Baron Lawrence is acutely aware that this monetary gesture, though intended as a meaningful apology, might hold little significance to the affluent owner of Oran Miners. Nevertheless, he hopes that it serves as a symbolic act of contrition, an olive branch extended to quell the burgeoning feud between the two families. Baron Dimitry, a figure of poise and grace, listens attentively to Baron Lawrence's apology. However, he dismisses the need for such gestures, revealing a mindset that doesn't dwell on potential future conflicts. In his eyes, the Dimitrys are not ones to meticulously weigh their options when confronted with the prospect of future disputes. He advises Baron Lawrence to make a public announcement attributing the end of the engagement to Flora's personal reasons. This, he suggests, would nullify any reason for Dimitry to align with the Barco family, effectively diffusing the potential collaboration that worried Baron Lawrence. Flora's father, relieved at Baron Dimitry's understanding, expresses gratitude for his wisdom and guidance. As they prepare to leave the room, a lingering gaze from Lawrence Dimitry towards Roman hints at a realization. Had he been fully aware of Roman's true worth, he might have been more cautious in advising Flora against impulsive decisions. In this moment of reflection, he acknowledges his own oversight. As the Lawrences exit the room, Roman's father seizes the opportunity to inquire about Roman's experiences over the past week. Roman, recounting the events, explains that the past 7 days were dedicated to intensive training within the confines of a shed. During this period, his focus was on purifying his body, eliminating all impurities, in a quest to attain the coveted human stage of development. As Roman traverses the intricate stages of the human journey, each step unfolds as a crucial building block toward his ultimate transformation into a heavenly demon magician. The Murim standards may not readily applaud these achievements, but within the context of a world saturated with abundant mana and the imperative need to purify Roman's body of lingering impurities, every foundational stride takes on profound significance. The tangible, observable changes in Roman's physical appearance stand as irrefutable proof that he has undergone a metamorphosis, emerging as an entirely distinct entity from his former self. Articulating the depth of this profound transformation to his father poses a formidable challenge. Roman, however, decides to open a window into his solitary training, revealing that amidst the rigorous regimen, he managed to unlock his mind. Though the specifics elude his recollection, Roman holds steadfast to the belief that mana has commenced its circulation throughout his body. The revelation leaves Baron Dimitry, the venerable patriarch of the Dimitry family, visibly taken aback. Learning that Roman has achieved mana circulation, a rare phenomenon enhancing physical capabilities by harnessing natural mana within the body, leaves Baron Dimitry astonished. Such feats are typically reserved for a select few. Witnessing Roman, often dismissed as the fool of Dimitry, accomplish extraordinary tasks, such as confronting the formidable Bloodfang, compels Baron Dimitry to acknowledge that Roman is charting a transformative path beyond the understanding of ordinary mortals. Yet in the face of these awe-inspiring developments, Baron Dimitry maintains the unwavering stance of a father. He underscores to Roman that, irrespective of the extraordinary journey he embarks upon, Roman remains his son. Baron Dimitry issues a poignant reminder, urging Roman to be mindful that his father is ready to extend a helping hand whenever it is needed. Emphasizing the importance of Roman's lineage as the son of Romero Dimitry, Baron Dimitry assures Roman of steadfast support from the shadows. This revelation instigates a profound shift in Roman's perception. Reflecting on his time in Murim, where his father's demeanor was marked by coldness and distance, Roman is moved by the stark contrast presented by his father on earth, a figure not characterized by coldness or ruthlessness, but one offering genuine and unwavering support. This newfound connection with his father fills Roman with gratitude, manifesting in a heartfelt smile and a sincere expression of thanks. Exiting his father's office, Roman's path intertwines with that of Flora, adding yet another layer to the intricate tapestry of his experiences. In a moment of vulnerability and sincerity, Flora extends a heartfelt apology to Roman. She acknowledges the hastiness of her judgments and the resultant complications that reverberated through both of their families. Roman, now radiating confidence and a newfound understanding, responds with grace, assuring Flora that there is no need for an apology. He articulates that, irrespective of their shared past, he had no intentions of continuing with the marriage. As Roman gracefully walks away, leaving Flora to contemplate the shifting dynamics of their relationship, Flora approached Roman quietly from behind, acknowledging the justified anger that simmered within him. Despite their arranged marriage, she understood that neither of them had willingly agreed to it. Moreover, Flora acknowledged her lapse in breaking the promise without prior discussion. However, seizing the moment, she felt compelled to share a crucial revelation with Roman. There was a special reason behind the abrupt cancellation of their impending marriage. Roman, taken aback by this unexpected disclosure, turned to gaze at Flora, a mix of surprise and curiosity etched on his features. Flora began to unravel the intricacies of the situation. During a social gathering hosted by the royal families of the Northeast, a damaging rumor had circulated. It suggested that Flora would be engaged to a member of the Dimitry family. The rumor, however, took a darker turn, insinuating that Roman Dimitry himself indulged in the consumption of drugs, substances that corrode one's sanity and erode knowledge. This revelation struck Roman with a certain gravity. Flora believed it was essential for him to know, despite the falsity of the rumors. At that time, she found herself unable to ignore the malicious gossip that had taken hold of their social circles. Roman, processing this information, assured Flora that regardless of the rumors, their relationship remained unchanged. He comforted her, expressing that there was no need for her to harbor worries any longer. With those words, Roman departed, leaving Flora to contemplate the significance of their conversation. Later that evening, Roman found solace in the library, accompanied by his loyal butler, Hans. The weight of Flora's words lingered in his thoughts. As Roman reflected, he realized that during his intensive training, he had been unable to sense any traces of drugs circulating within his body. This fact stood in stark contrast to the rumors that had suggested otherwise. While signs of medicinal use were apparent in the process of ending the previous Roman's life, it became evident that any remnants of such substances had been completely purged from his system during the rigorous training. Intrigued by these revelations, Roman turned to Hans for insight. He questioned whether Hans had ever witnessed him partaking in drugs or if there had been instances where Hans suspected him of such behavior. Hans, visibly taken aback by the inquiry, was shocked to hear Roman pose such questions. Clarifying that he wasn't jesting, Roman explained that he sought to use this moment to reevaluate his life choices. Instead of relying solely on his own memories, he aimed to gain an external perspective, an unbiased lens through which to scrutinize his past actions and decisions. Hans, unsure of how to broach the topic with Roman, eventually musters the courage to share his observations. Although he hasn't directly witnessed anything, there were instances when Hans found Roman's actions a bit peculiar. In response to Roman's inquiry about when this occurred, Hans recalls an incident from a month ago. During this time, Roman had just returned from a social gathering. While the event itself didn't seem noteworthy, Hans noticed that Roman appeared to be in an unusual state upon his return. Subsequently, it seemed to Hans that Roman had lost the will to live, confining himself to his room. Night after night, Roman would request excessive amounts of alcohol. This led Hans to speculate that Roman might have accessed drugs during that particular party. Clarifying his thoughts, Hans conveys to Roman that, though he initially found the idea far-fetched, it was a concern that lingered. Roman, absorbing this information, reflects on the social gathering hosted by the royal families. Seeking more clarity, he asks Hans if he knows who hosted that party. Hans identifies the host as Anthony Barco, the eldest son of the Barco family. This revelation triggers a cascade of thoughts for Roman. Recalling the events from the perspective of the previous Roman, who had an arranged marriage planned with the Lawrence family, attending a social party hosted by the Barco family had led to abrupt changes in his mental state. Eventually, he decided to take his own life. Connecting the dots, Roman begins to piece together the puzzle of what transpired during that social gathering. Roman found himself grappling with a cascade of perplexing thoughts concerning the demise of the old Roman, a deep dive into the will revealed an unsettling focus. The old Roman's decision to partake in battle instead of allowing his two younger siblings to face the perils. What struck Roman as odd was the sole mention of fear of the unknown on the battlefield. But here's the twist. Roman, the current one, was already betrothed to Flora, and in the intricate tapestry of royalty, wedded members had ample avenues to sidestep the grim call to war. The perplexity deepened as Roman pondered why the old Roman, seemingly on the brink of marital bliss, chose to end his own life out of fear. Something didn't quite add up in Roman's discerning mind. The scrutiny of his own circumstances intensified Roman's internal investigation. He had been promised to Flora, and marriage, a sanctuary from the battlefield, awaited him. A confounding reality lay before Roman. While there were numerous ways for him to avoid the tumult of war, the old Roman had chosen the path of no return. This disconcerting revelation fueled Roman's conviction that there was more to the story than met the eye. Roman, perched on a sofa in contemplation, turned to Hans for solace and answers. He inquired about the nature of the relationship between Hans and Anthony Barco. Hans's response was an unsettling revelation. No one had spent time with Roman lately, and an air of animosity seemed to have enveloped him. Particularly around the time discussions about his union with Lawrence began, Roman's astute mind connected the dots. The arranged marriage between Dimitry and Lawrence emerged as a formidable obstacle for the Barcos, who harbored ambitions of seizing control over the vast lands owned by Lawrence. In Roman's eyes, thwarting this marriage would be the simplest solution to the Barcos' predicament. The hypothesis unfolded further in Roman's thoughts. Barco, driven by a ruthless desire for power, might have employed every means at their disposal to influence the old Roman. Was this Machiavellian maneuvering the catalyst that led the old Roman to his tragic end? The pieces of the puzzle began to align in Roman's mind, painting a picture of manipulation and coercion that culminated in the ultimate tragedy. As the weight of these revelations settled, Hans dropped another bombshell. They had received an invitation from the Barco family a few days ago. Roman's surprise at the Barcos extending an olive branch was palpable. Yet the timing was unfortunate. It coincided with Roman's foray into intensive training. The invitation loomed before them, a decision awaiting resolution. Hans, uncertain about the course of action, sought Roman's guidance. Roman, his face adorned with a sly smirk, felt a surge of confidence. The Barcos, it seemed, were underestimating him. Whatever machinations they were plotting, it bothered Roman. His decision was unequivocal. He would attend the party. The scene transitioned to the next day, unfolding within the grandeur of Dimitry Palace. Hans sought out Kevin to deliver the news that Roman awaited him. Hans, the trusted aide, cautioned Kevin not to be overly surprised by the apparent changes in young Master Roman. Taking in this advice, Kevin, visibly surprised, assured Hans that he understood. With that, Kevin ventured into the room, prompted by the earlier summons. As he questioned Roman about the call, Roman, looking back, gestured for Kevin to enter. The room held an air of unfamiliarity, and Kevin couldn't help but notice a subtle shift in Roman's demeanor. He pondered if this was what Hans had alluded to, the intangible alteration in the atmosphere surrounding young Master Roman. Seated in the room, Roman, seemingly different, prompted Kevin to join him. In response to Roman's question about his recent well-being, Kevin, with a genuine smile, shared that he was doing great. Hans's assistance had played a significant role in helping him acclimate to the palace environment. However, with a hint of uncertainty in his voice, Kevin broached the subject that had been lingering in his thoughts. He confessed to Roman that, despite the positive adjustment, he found himself questioning his role within the palace. Kevin candidly expressed doubt about how someone as ordinary as him could truly make a meaningful contribution to young Master Roman's life. Despite Roman's directive to live for him, Kevin sought clarity on what practical actions he, an ordinary individual, could take. Roman, displaying a level of insight and self-awareness that caught Kevin off guard, revealed his intention to utilize Kevin as his metaphorical sword. This unexpected revelation left Kevin surprised and curious about the implications of such a role. Roman, ever the strategist, then unveiled a unique approach. Instead of dictating Kevin's role, he presented three distinct paths, allowing Kevin agency in choosing his destiny. The first option was for Kevin to relinquish the role of being Roman's sword if the idea of wielding such power was daunting. In this scenario, Kevin could still contribute as Roman's hands and feet, absorbing knowledge and guidance from Hans. The second choice was more intriguing but came with its own set of challenges. Roman proposed that Kevin could become his sword, standing as a protector by his side. However, there was a catch. Given Kevin's lack of experience with a sword, Roman outlined a test of will that involved enduring excruciating pain. Roman explained that this pain would manifest through a method known as limb crushing, a visceral experience simulating the sensation of bones and muscles being crushed. Roman looked intently at Kevin, his words laden with a promise that went beyond mere rhetoric. He assured Kevin that these were not empty words but a commitment backed by a sincere willingness to prove Kevin's true worth. The atmosphere hung heavy with tension as Roman laid out an unconventional option before Kevin. A sword, a drastic measure. Kevin was to sever his own hand. Roman believed in the transformative power of self-inflicted pain, convinced that enduring such a sacrifice could propel Kevin to heights of strength unimaginable to others. As Roman spoke, his mind wandered to the tale of a once mad demon, astray on the unforgiving streets who, through sheer willpower, had risen to become one of the enigmatic four heavenly kings. The power of one's will, Roman mused, could transcend the boundaries of the ordinary, turning the seemingly impossible into reality. The question lingered in the air. What would Kevin choose? The room bore witness to the weight of Kevin's decision. Roman, ever calculating, made it clear that regardless of Kevin's choice, he intended to extract value from the outcome. In the recesses of Kevin's mind, memories of his humble origins outside Dimitry Castle resurfaced. The crumbling walls of the old house were a stark reminder of the harsh reality that shaped his early years. Born into adversity, Kevin learned the ropes of survival early on. Following in the footsteps of his parents, he toiled tirelessly, learning every conceivable skill that life demanded. Yet despite his efforts, Kevin's life remained a cycle of stagnation. No matter how hard he worked, someone always appeared to snatch away the fruits of his labor. The narrative of the week, Kevin thought, a life constantly at the mercy of external forces. It was this very narrative that had etched itself into Kevin's consciousness, making it impossible for him to forget the overwhelming strength Roman displayed against the formidable Blood Fang. As Kevin grappled with the decision before him, he contemplated the significance of cutting off his own hand. The act seemed incomprehensible, its implications shrouded in mystery. Yet a burning desire for change, a yearning for strength beyond the ordinary, fueled Kevin's resolve. If cutting off his hand was the path to strength, a strength capable of rivaling the young master Roman's, then perhaps it was a sacrifice worth making. In a moment of clarity, Kevin voiced his decision to Roman. The room fell silent and Roman regarded him with a serious expression, assessing the gravity of Kevin's choice. Without hesitation, Kevin, fueled by a demonic determination, took up the sword and proceeded to cut off his own hand. The air thickened with tension, and even Roman, known for his calculated demeanor, couldn't conceal his surprise at the sheer intensity of Kevin's resolve. The setting transforms beyond the confines of the room, where Chris strides purposefully toward Roman's quarters. In his mind, Chris is convinced that he has made the choice to forsake his knighthood and align himself with young Master Roman. However, just as he nears the threshold, Roman surprises everyone by declaring a week-long commitment to intensive training. Disheartened by this unexpected turn of events, Chris spots Hans and seeks information about Roman's whereabouts. Word has it that Roman has concluded his training, so Chris inquires of Hans about Roman's location. Hans reveals that the young master is engaged in a private conversation with Kevin, instructing him not to allow anyone entry during their discussion. Chris is left dispirited by this revelation. Inside the room, a chilling scene unfolds. Kevin, in a shocking act, severs his own hand, collapsing unconscious onto the floor. Roman, wearing a stern expression, observes Kevin with a grave demeanor. Meanwhile, outside the room, Hans discovers a sword stained with blood. Concerned, he questions Roman about the gruesome discovery. With a smirk, Roman reassures Hans that the blood isn't his own and divulges that he had cast an illusion spell called the Charm of the Illusion Demon on Kevin. Roman explains that the illusion made it appear to Kevin as though he had amputated his hand, a calculated test to assess Kevin's resilience. Roman reflects on the precarious nature of the situation, acknowledging that had the illusion been even slightly weaker, Kevin might have actually severed his entire hand. With only 2 weeks until the party and 6 months until the impending war, Roman is invigorated by the prospect of imparting crucial lessons. A sly smile creeps across his face as he contemplates the busy days ahead, eager to share his knowledge and prepare for the challenges looming on the horizon.